Good evening, folks. Today we have a presentation on the City of Beaverton Code of Ethics. Did you know we had a City of Beaverton Code of Ethics? I did not, but we do. This is important because we have a situation now where we have an issue in our City Hall. City Council is being accused of violating some kind of quorum, some kind of Open Meetings Act, and overstepping their bounds. And it's becoming quite an issue, and you should pay attention because it's going to affect the future path of your city. And I think it's nefarious and ill-placed, to say the least. But let's go over the Code of Ethics a little bit here. Let's see. Always put loyalty to high moral standards and to Beaverton above any loyalty to persons, department, or agency, or political or other interests. Uphold the Constitution, laws, and regulations of the United States, the state of Michigan, and the city of Beaverton, and never be a party to their violation or evasion. Seek to find and employ more efficient and economical ways to provide service and to give the performance of his or her duties their best attention, efforts, and thoughts. That does not mean keep services in-house under the table whatsoever. That's a violation of ethics. Never engage in any business with the city government, either directly or indirectly, which is inconsistent with the conscientious performance of his or her governmental duties. Never engage in any business with the city government, either directly or indirectly, which is inconsistent with the conscientious performance of his or her governmental duties as a city employee. No side deals, no commerce. That's a conflict. That's a violation of ethics. H, Section H. Always safeguard the public trust and never use or allow the use of government property and funds for private purposes, for purposes other than those authorized or permitted. Debatable? Or for purposes which could mislead the citizens or damage the confidence and reputation of the government. Have we not been there for how many years now? That's Section H. I'm going to post this. It'll be in a PDF and it'll go up for you to review, and you should read it, because the complaints coming down, although they've been kind of weak, but they've been persistent for years, is that we have issues with public property. I think they call that, I forget, it's with the P. It'll come back to me. Avoid the appearance of improper influence and refrain from ever receiving, soliciting, or accepting gifts, gratuities, favors, or anything of value for himself, his or her family, or others, which is intended or has the appearance or effect of influencing the performance of his or her duties, and should never lobby or attempt to influence others in the performance of their duties by any means which are not a part of his or her authorized duties. You see, the Code of Ethics defines a line that's very, it's just very fine, defined. Government, private, no collusion, ethics, public trust, public property, public employees, private property, private sector. There's a division, and we can't have collusion or we lose public trust, because you understand the funding for the public entity is by forced extraction. We have no say in it. If we don't agree with it, there's not much we can do. Those taxes are forcibly extracted. So the government sector, the public sector, has to understand the paramount responsibility to safeguard the public trust, or you're going to have some very angry citizens. And that's what's happening today. Now here's one. I'm going to post it, you can go through it yourself, but here's one that really bothered me. Section N. Now we, as laymen's, as regular folks out on the street, we assume that we can elect representatives to go in there and clean house. You know, once in a while we can get some people that show up to be elected, and they say, we're going to do this, 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 and this, and we're going to go in there, and we're going to work for you, and we're going to make it. But here's the problem. They don't have the authority that we think they do. I don't know who made that the way it is. And some of it I agree with. You can't just have people going there and just busting chops every 2 years. There has to be some consistency. But listen to what I read here. Section N of your Beaverton City Code of Ethics. In order to uphold the integrity of the council-manager form of government and to provide proper checks and balances, members of the City Council refrain from becoming directly involved in the administrative affairs of the city. Okay? As the Council is the policy-making body and the maker of local laws, its involvement in enforcement of ordinances would only damage the credibility of the system. They're not law enforcers, they're law makers. That sounds like Lansing. Except for the purpose of inquiry, now they do have the the authority and ability and responsibility to inquire on insurrections or anything that seems out of line in the city. That would be their responsibility. They are responsible to their constituents who voted them in to make sure things run smooth and fair and honest. The council and its members will deal with the administrative service solely through the city manager or designee. So the council hires a designee or a manager. And this Code of Ethics is saying that all the issues are handled through them, not the council. That may be just for continuity between terms. I guess depending on who's sitting where, that could make sense. And neither the council nor any committee or member of a committee shall give orders to any subordinate of the city manager. Okay? No city council can reprimand city workers. Alright? And this is as stated in the Michigan Municipal League Handbook of Municipal Officials. That's searchable online, and that's pretty interesting to read. And backs up the statement. The council should not wander through City Hall, making sure the tasks are performed or that directives are carried out. So they're saying don't micromanage. Especially if you're a new council person, you don't really know how the city runs or how the county runs or whatever local government we're talking about. You gotta be careful there. Council should make decisions with as much help from citizens, the city manager, and staff as much as they can secure. The council must trust the staff's professional judgment. Your elected officials must trust the staff's professional judgment because they have training, experience, and information that the council does not. Now check this out. And need not have. And need not have. Your elected officials need not know everything. It's debatable. But this Code of Ethics puts the authority in the administration of your city under those that are appointed. And if that's so, who elects or who hires your city manager or your appointee or your designee? That is your city council. So even though this seems to weaken your city council, your elected representation, don't be fooled, because there are rules of engagement and your city council represent the people, and the city council hires and fires your designee or city manager if they are in some kind of malfeasant state. And then if you read through this code of ethics and the arguments that have been happening in the city of Beaverton for the last 2-3 years, you may see some violations. And maybe the city council needs to take heed to this and start exercising their authority, the authority that we delegated them, we the people, empowering them to safeguard us from a tyrannical government. I'll post it. It'll be up. It'll be on Talk with the Mayor, Beaverton, We the People, all over, as well as the city charter. And you all should read it. You really should, so you know where you stand. And then actually it will clarify how much you can hold your city council accountable. Thanks.